Hi, everyone, and welcome to 10 Tips in 10 Minutes, where we will help you learn successful strategies about challenging topics in just 10 short minutes. My name is Natalie Girolamo. I am a success coach and tutor for the Tutoring and Academic Success Center. And today I will be giving you 10 tips in 10 minutes about study skills and test taking strategies. Tip number 1 is to attend class. During both virtual learning and in-person learning, we have to attend our classes, especially leading up to a quiz, exam, midterm, or final. And by attending class, I don't just mean simply going to class and then watching Netflix on your laptop or playing games on your phone. Going to class means actively engaging for just those short 50 to 75 minutes by limiting distractions around you, asking questions, looking over material from class during and after you attend. So actively engaging in class will help you feel more prepared leading up to a test, and being there in class will give you easy access to ask the professor questions if you have to. Tip number 2 for improving your study skills and test taking strategies is to include a lot of repetition. Some fun facts on this slide include that you remember 10% of what you read, 20% of what you hear, 30% of what you see, 50% of what you see and hear together, 70% of what you say, and around 90% of what you do. So you can see how utilizing these into your studying along with repetition can make it that much easier for you to retrieve the information when you need it the most during a quiz or exam. A good way to practice repetition is to use flashcards, which can be handmade or using pre-made ones on Quizlet, and we will talk more about study cards later in this presentation. Using your textbook brings us to tip number 3. Class can move along pretty fast, so if you miss anything in the lecture, you can always reference your textbook afterwards to fill in the gaps. Our textbooks offer many practice quizzes, summary sections, and main objectives we can use while studying and preparing for a test. And again, we want to stay actively engaged while using our textbooks and not just blankly stare at our books or zone out while reading. So actively engaging will make our time spent studying much more useful instead of just tiring us out. Tip number 4 shows us that how we can use mnemonics in order to study and prepare for tests. You can use mnemonics as a catchy way to remember, learn, and retrieve information for a test by organizing key words or phrases using their first letter. For example, we use TASC or task, which is a catchy phrase for the Tutoring and Academic Success Center, or you may have heard of the mnemonic PEMDAS for when you learned the order of operations for math in high school. So using something silly or memorable to study will make it much easier to retrieve it while you're taking a quiz or exam. So like we said before, using study cards for studying and test taking is the 5th tip, where you get to have some fun with your notes. If highlighting and color coding works for you, break out those markers and highlighters and dedicate certain colors for vocabulary, main ideas, and exam material on those note cards. And if a professor says that certain material will for sure be on the exam, dedicate a whole flashcard to that material so it will be convenient to carry around and easily accessible to study. You can always sort your note cards into know, kind of know, and don't know piles, and focus a lot of attention on learning the don't know pile and then working your way towards the cards you might be fairly familiar with. If you do not want to make your own cards, you can always look for pre-made sets on Quizlet or other helpful flashcard apps that are for free. The 6th tip explains some helpful tips for multiple choice tests. Never forget to use the test to your advantage, referencing other questions that might help you find the correct answer for the question that you're working on. Always, always, always read all your options before you choose which one you think is correct. And you can always underline, cross out, or circle keywords that might help you narrow down the right answer, of course, if you're allowed to write on the exam. Always trust your gut as well, because usually your first choice will be correct, so try not to change your answer unless you are for sure you might have slipped up the first time. The 7th tip educates us on the recency-latency effect. You are much more likely to learn more effectively if you study in short increments. And you can utilize the Pomodoro technique by studying for 25 minutes, followed by a 5 to 10-minute break, and then repeating that cycle until your task has been completed. And then every 4 Pomodoros, you can take a longer 15 to 30-minute break to give your mind that needed rest. The eighth tip reminds us that even during chaotic college life, we have to develop or find a productive studying space. Having a productive, organized, and motivating study space will help improve our studying and then in turn help us improve our test taking. Ask your roommates for some quiet time. You might have to set some quiet hours in your dorm, apartment, or house. Or if that doesn't work out, you can always try a nearby library, coffee shop, or outdoor park even. And also, again, try limiting your distractions in your workspace, like video games, your phone, pets, or anything else that might cause you to steer away from focusing on your task at hand. As we get closer to finishing up this presentation, we cannot forget to discuss the important role that being organized plays on being a productive studier and test taker. Making sure to stay organized can help limit the procrastination you might be facing. If you feel like there is too much overwhelming you to even start getting organized, start small. So maybe organize your notes for separate classes, or maybe just organize your emails into different folders. Then you can work up to larger tasks like organizing your workspace to make it more helpful and productive. The 10th and final tip is to go in with confidence. Go into your tests or exams or quizzes confident in the material you took time to study for, and after the exam, you can reflect on what worked or didn't work and what you can use for the next exam or what you might need to change in order to take your next exam in a more productive and better way. You've got this, and even just taking small steps first can lead to a positive difference in your studying and test taking. And remember that sometimes it might be better to prepare in small increments over a longer period of time than cramming longer study sessions in a couple days before the exam. But you've got this, you can do it. And if you still need help, you can email task at tutoring@csuohio.edu or call 216-687-2012 for more information and to schedule an appointment. To help with note taking, study skills, test taking strategies, organization, so much more that we can help you with. Even if the stuff in this presentation you might not be struggling with, we can help you with other things as well to help improve your academic studies. Or you can always schedule a success coaching appointment yourself through Starfish on CampusNet by going to your Success Network. And then here is some more information about resources on campus to help you thrive this semester. Feel free to take a picture of this slide for future reference. And thank you for listening to 10 tips in 10 minutes about study skills and test taking strategies. I hope you have a wonderful semester and a great day.